Welcome to Spooktober! We're all season long, we're doing Halloween-themed videos. Go grab your candy, and let's get started. What's going on, everyone? ProtoPawn here. Welcome back to another Pokemon type tier list. Today we will be discussing the Poison type as part of our Spooktober event going on this month. I think Poison, thematically, is probably the third scariest type that you could come across in the game. Just because, you know, it kind of sucks when you're in battle, you get poisoned, and you don't have a answer to resolve that effect, and you just get your life whittled away more and more each turn at the end of your turn. So, you know, it can be scary. It puts you on a time clock. Starting off, we will have the Bulbasaur line here, represented by the magnificently mighty Venusaur here. I do personally like Ivysaur a little bit better than the other two, but not by much, so it's not saying much. I think Venusaur and the whole line together is a solid B tier. I know a lot of people like them. Me personally, like, I might have used one maybe once on a playthrough, but it never really was outdone by like Blastoise or Charizard for me. So obviously it looks more designed and geared towards the grass type, but in Gen 1, grass types were mostly poison typing as well, so they kind of just went hand in hand in Gen 1. And it's fine overall, like, regardless of it being grass type or poison type, it's a fine design, but it doesn't get me too excited past, I guess, the tier of B here. So moving on, if you've seen my bug-type tier list, you guys know that I do like Beedrill as a regional bug, as a 3-stage regional bug, and he ended up in B tier there. So he will once again reside in B tier here. Again, fine design overall. He definitely looks like he's out to poison you. So moving on, we have Arbok, and I do like Arbok. I like the Ekans and Arbok line, but I mean they're very plain, but they still look good enough. So I'm going to put them in B tier here, and I don't really have much more to say about that. Moving on, we have the Nido line, and Nido King and Queen. I'm going to put them up in A tier for now because they are phenomenal Pokemon. We all know this. It's very nice to be able to get these really early on in a playthrough. Once you hit that level 20, what is it, like 25, and then you give it the Moonstone, and then you get, you know, your Nido King or Queen respectfully. Really cool designs. I do like, of course, Nido King just a tiny bit more, but it's really not saying much because I love these two together. So we'll put them in A tier for now. They could potentially get bumped up to the top of B tier by the end of this, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. Moving on, Crobat. Crobat is S tier for me. Again, how I structure S tier is we'll just put the Pokemon up in S tier, and at the end of the video, we will organize S tier specifically. But for right now, he's going up in S tier. Crobat is definitely one of my favorite all-time poison types of all time. And Gen 2, of course, giving Golbat the much-needed third evolution that it deserved. Just because it was kind of weird being a second stage mon and then looking really weird, but Crobat really, you know, smoothed out that line and finally made it feel complete, and it is a phenomenal Pokemon. We all know this. Moving on, Vileplume. Again, it's kind of sits in this zone where again, it's a grass poison type. But definitely nowhere near as cool as Venusaur. I don't even know if I want to stick this in B because it's really just like, it's literally just the top of Venusaur. You know what I mean? Like, it looks basically the same. I do, however, like it a little bit more than Arbok, so we will put Vileplume at the top of C tier for now. I think that's pretty fair. Next up, we have Venomoth, and if you've, again, seen my bug-type tier list, you know that I put Venomoth in the C tier. It isn't going to change for this video. It definitely looks like a better bug than a better poison type to begin with, but like, again, design-wise overall, regardless, it's pretty plain, so I'm going to stick it, again, in C tier here. I don't see a reason why not to... I wouldn't move him down, because I don't think it's D tier worthy, but I'm definitely not going to move him up to B tier, so we're going to stick him in C tier like he was last time. Moving on, we have the wonderful Victory Bell here, and as a Gen 1 grass poison type, I always liked Victory Bell a lot more than the other grass poison types, so I'm going to stick it above Venusaur here. I know it's very more plain looking than the Venusaur, but I like Victory Bell. Like, I can't stress this enough. I always liked Victory Bell. I thought it was definitely cooler looking than the Vileplume, because they are supposed to be the mirror opposites due to version exclusives throughout the ages. But yeah, no, Victory Bell, I liked it better. And usually, since I wasn't picking a Venusaur on a playthrough, if I wanted to cover that specific niche of a grass type, poison type mon, I'm gonna be looking out to getting a Victory Bell. So can't put it in A, it doesn't look that great, but I do like it a lot, so I'll put it at the top of B tier for now. Moving on, Tentacruel. Tentacruel, I love me a Tentacruel. I've used Tentacruel on a multitude of different teams. It's a good, solid, bulky Pokemon that is good for setting up, you know, what we're talking about here, some poison-themed abilities and getting your enemies poisoned, so I'm going to put them up in A tier. I'm tempted to actually put it above the Niddos, because I do like it that much, but not by a whole lot more. At some point, like I said, these guys could be bumped down to the top of B tier by the end of this video, but I do like them a lot. I respect them a lot. By the end of this video, Tentacruel will definitely probably be towards the bottom of A tier, but we'll move him along as the video goes on here. So next up we have the Galarian Slowbro and Slowking. We'll do these guys together here. I like the Slowbro better, in all honesty. It's like he's got a cannon attached to his arm, but I don't think I could put him... I guess I could put him above Beedrill. His color coordination is pretty good, but as far as Slowking goes, I don't like it as much. But I definitely like it better than Vileplume. I'm going to put him at the top of C tier for me, in all honesty. I think that's fair enough, in all honesty. I don't... Again, I like this guy a little bit more. Do I actually like it better than Beedrill? Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine right there. I don't really have much more to say about these two. Moving on, we have Muck, both regular and Alolan, and I don't really have too much to say about them. I do like Muck more than Venomoth. He's a bulky dude. They gave it the dark type in Alola, and I get it, like it's supposed to look like an oil slick or a gas slick on the road or whatever, coloration wise, but this doesn't really do it for me. I'd much prefer the normal Muck, and I probably would actually use a Venomoth before this. So, and I like dark type. Dark type is my Dark type is my favorite secondary typing to give to a Pokemon, like as a, not as a primary, but as a secondary, but I do like it as a primary a lot too. But it just doesn't do it for me with this Pokemon specifically, so I think that's fine. They can both reside in C tier. Moving on, we have, of course, Gengar, and Gengar's a fine design. He's pretty good. I know people would probably rage in the comments if I didn't put it in S tier, but I'm not going to put it in S tier because I like Gengar a lot. I like Ghost Pokemon. Ghost Pokemon are my second favorite typing in the game. But in all honesty, his design, he's a powerful Pokemon, right? But we're not really going over competitive, like how competitive a Pokemon is in these tier lists. It's just purely based off of design. I don't like it, especially in the context of poison typing, right? He definitely is a ghost, right? As far as a poison typing design goes, we'll base it off of that for this video. I'll put him at the top of B tier right now. It definitely is designed better as a ghost. If this, you know, we'll get to when we do the ghost type video, we'll reevaluate Gengar design wise, because he definitely makes for a much better ghost as design. But as a poison typing goes, you know, we'll put him in B tier. I think that's fair. Moving on, we have both the Weezings, normal Weezing and Galarian Weezing here, and I don't really know where I really want to put these guys. I mean, we've already gone over Galarian Weezing before. Normal Weezing, I think we're gonna put normal Weezing here. And I mean, last time we put Galarian Weezing doing the fairy type tier list, we put him in B tier, and I think I will actually keep him here because I do like this design. I really like the whole top hat thing going on. I like the coloration of it. It's pretty good. I don't think I like it more than Beedrill, though. I'm gonna be perfectly honest about that. It's not gonna really do it for me here as far as that goes. Let's try to move him. I grabbed the back thing here. Yeah, we'll put him in B tier right now. I think that's fair. I'm gonna keep him where I had him last time. Moving on, obviously, guys, you've seen my bug type tier list. I like Ariados a lot. And this could be a separation thing. This is actually, this is a good anchor point for evaluating things in A tier for me, because I put this in my bug type tier list in A tier. I still think as a poison type it looks really good, but I like the Nidos better than it, but I can't put this in B tier because I like it a lot and it deserves to be an A tier design wise. So this actually might be the anchor point at the bottom of A tier, but again, we'll move things down as the video continues. So yes, these guys are all solidified in A tier due to this being my representation breaking point. Moving on, we have Quillfish. And the newer thing, the Overquill. We'll do both of these together because Quillfish in Gen 2 was only ever a single stage Pokemon, and I don't know, I think I like it, honestly. I like it. It's very cute. It's very cute, so I'm gonna keep it in C tier for cute, but yeah, I definitely like it better than these two here, so we'll put them right here. Now, Overquill is really cool looking. Like, it is also dark type, and we will eventually get to the dark type tier list here soon enough. I don't think I can put it in A tier, but I really do like this design, especially as a poison type design. Oh boy, yeah, I don't think I can put it in A tier, but I think its design-wise for the poison typing is better than Gengar. So we'll do this. We'll move everything down like this. I think that's pretty fair in all honesty. Alright, Dustox. Dustox, again, regional bug Pokemon, and I really do like me a Dustox. I think out of Dustox and Beautifly from Hoenn, I definitely gravitated towards Dustox a little bit more. Of course, last time in the bug tier, he was also in the B tier, and I do like him a little bit more than the Beedrill, so we're going to do the exact same thing and put him just above Beedrill. So there we go. Not much more to say about it. I really do like these two regional bugs a lot, but you know, they do fall to the wayside eventually as the playthrough goes on. Moving on, we have Roserade, which Rosalia, Roserade, Badoo, whatever, they gave Roserade a pre-Evo, or Rosalia pre-Evo, and then upgraded its whole design in Roserade, and this is probably going to go into A tier. As probably my favorite grass poison type out of the combination of the two typings together. Do I like it more than any of these is the question. In all honesty, yeah, I think I do actually like it a little bit better than Tentacruel, so we'll put the Roserade at the top of the A tier for now. Yeah, I think that's fine. Moving on, we have Swalot, and Swalot I always thought was a generational version of basically like Muck, but just in Gen 3. Swalot's fine design-wise. I know he's kind of bland, but I think he's a little bit more interesting than Muck, so we'll put him next to Muck. Right next to Weezing. Do I like it better than the Weezing? Honestly, I know competitive-wise it is nowhere probably near as good as these Pokemon, but I think I actually like it better than Arbok, in all honesty. Nah, maybe not Arbok. Arbok is pretty good-looking as a snake. We'll put him right here in between Weezing and the Arbok. I think that's fine. I think that's a good place for it. Seviper is bomb. Definitely the coolest poison snake ever designed. I don't think I'm going to put it in A tier, but I am going to put it in B tier. The question is where am I going to put it in B tier? In all honesty, I'd much rather use, again, a Seviper. I mean, if you had both Seviper and Venusaur in the same game, I'm still probably not picking Bulbasaur as a starter. But that doesn't mean I like Seviper more design-wise, just because I could use it on a team, but I definitely like it more than the Slowbro. So there we go. Seviper can sit in between the Venusaur and the Slowbro. I think that's pretty good. Stung Tank, I do have some respect for because I did have to use it on one of my playthroughs in Shield to fill out a team. I believe it was the Poison team because I needed a Dark type. Skunk Tank is very basic in design. I do respect it. It's decent. We're just gonna keep moving things down here, but it's definitely going into the C tier. Design-wise, yeah, we'll move this down. We'll move this down. I definitely probably would use it over an Arbok in a playthrough. So we'll put Stung Tank right here. I think that's relatively fair. I don't think I could put it any higher than that for sure. So, all right, moving on. We've got Drapion. Now Drapion is awesome. Again, couldn't go on the bug tier list because it loses its bug typing into favor dark typing. But Drapion is a really cool Pokemon. Design-wise, regardless of its typing. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the top of A tier for now. just pure design, like ignoring poison typing and dark typing over these. I mean, obviously we're not going over dark typing for this video, but despite the poison typing, this design is just really cool. So I gotta give it respect and credit where credit is due. Toxicroak. Toxicroak. I like Toxicroak a lot. I know it's not the greatest as far as competitive goes, but again, we're not discussing competitive play here. I really thought the combination and the theme of a dirty fighter works the best because it is fighting type. And adding the poison type to it, I always liked that idea because again, it's a dirty, tricky fighter. He's coming at you with some underhanded moves. So I'm gonna put him in S tier because I do like the overall design. You guys leave in a comment how much do you like Toxicroak? Okay, because I know this is probably a very unpopular opinion about this Pokemon, but I think he is pretty cool looking in all honesty. He's not outlandishly over the top in design, but thematically he's really cool. I do like him. Next we of course have Scolipede, which we have covered before in the bug type tier list. Now at the end of that we had him in A tier, and I mean, as a bug, he looks really good as a bug type, but as a poison type, I am going to adjust him just a tad bit. Not by much, because he was at the bottom of A tier by the end of the bug type tier list, but he is still really cool. He's a really good design, but I don't think, I honestly like him as a poison type better than these three, so I'm gonna actually just barely bump him down to near the top of B tier. I think that's fine for this video, for this listing of the poison typing. I like it. He's still a really good design, don't get me wrong. I do like him, but I'd still rather use any of these three over it in a playthrough, so I'm gonna base it off of that. I think that is fair enough. Goodness gracious. Let's leave the trash in the trashiest tier that we have here in D tier. Obviously, Trubbish is even worse of a design, but at least Trubbish is not so hideous looking. But I mean, again, it's like the representation of Muck for the generation it came out, but I'd much rather use a Muck. So D tier for trash tier it goes. Not much more to say about it. Amoonguss is now Among Us, and I mean, you know, he is a poison grass typing. We've seen these before. I don't know, it's just like a giant Pokeball colored themed design on a mushroom. I definitely can't put it in B tier. I know competitively he's really good. I've never used one though, and just because the design completely turns me off from wanting to use it, but it's definitely better than this thing here. I probably would use it before I used these here, so we'll put a Amoonguss right here. I think I'd still rather use a Muck and anything above here before using it though, so I think putting it here is fair enough for C tier. Dragalge is a great looking design. Finally, a dragon type was given the poison type, so I have a lot of respect in that regard to it. I definitely would use one on a playthrough, but design-wise, I mean, it's very thematic for its design. It's, you know, supposed to be like a kelp-like thing. I don't think I can put it in A tier, but I think I can at least nudge it down and put it towards the top of B tier, because it is interesting. It's a very interesting Pokemon. I definitely would use it on a playthrough if I had to. I like it. I mean, getting it is, I think, a bit tricky if I'm recalling that correctly, but I think it's decent. It's cool to see a dragon have poison typing that is not a legendary type that we will eventually get to on this list. Toxapex. Design-wise, it's definitely not A tier design-wise, but it is a good Pokemon. It needs its respect. It is a good Pokemon. It can be problematic to face. I'm just trying to think of where I'm going to actually put it. I definitely would use it over... I mean, mostly because water typing. Water is my favorite typing. I would definitely use it over these, over this. We're gonna move this below Venusaur. Design-wise, Venusaur. Actually, I do like Venusaur better design-wise. We'll put Toxapex right here in the middle of B tier. I think that's fair. Personally, I'd much rather use a Toxapex on a playthrough, probably over a Scolipede. But design-wise, though, okay, you know what? No, we will put the Scolipede. We'll put the Scolipede like that. We'll put it right above Seviper. I think that's fair. Salazzle. Salazzle is an amazing Pokemon. Fire Poison, very cool. I have used one on my Poison team before that I did for Shield, because fire typing was very handy. The problem with it is an only female evolution that can get into this point from its Salandit pre-evolution. It's kind of interesting that they did that. I respect it. It's an interesting concept. Like, okay, yeah, the females evolve on, and yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But design-wise, though, where am I gonna put it? I like it enough. I definitely would use one again on a playthrough of a game that had it, for sure. Getting that access to that fire typing can be very hard in a lot of games. But I'm trying to just make room as where we can put it. I think I'm gonna put it in B tier. Okay, I would definitely use one on a team. Probably more so than an Ivysaur or a Venusaur, but design-wise, I'm actually gonna again put this towards the middle. I definitely like it better than Scolipede. So we'll put it again in the middle of B tier. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I like it. It is a good combination, poison and fire. The ability that it has, where it, you know, the corrosive ability is a really good ability to have on it too. It's pretty fun. So, yeah, B tier it goes. All right, next we have Nihiloglo, or however the heck you say this thing. The last time we covered this Pokemon was in the Rock type tier list, the very first tier list that I did. That resided in C tier then, and it's going to reside in C tier still here. I think it's more of an interesting design than these two in all honesty, but I still think I like Quillfish as a design better, just cuter. Don't have much to say on it. It's an Ultra Beast. I've never used an Ultra Beast in my life because I didn't do that generation. And out of all the Ultra Beasts, this one just is one of the weirder looking ones. It's not the weirdest looking one. The clown thing was. This is kind of like a jellyfish-like design, which is pretty cool. Why it was a rock type doesn't really make sense to me, but okay, to each their own. Yeah, C tier, not much more to say about it. Moving forward, we have Naganadel, which is an amazing type. Again, another dragon poison. This is an S tier design. This thing is so cool. S tier design for sure. Can't stress that enough. Just gonna go right up to the top of the list. Next we have, of course, Toxtricity, and in my electric type tier list, I had both of them up here, but for this video we're just gonna use one as the representation because they are both equally cool color scheme wise, but I like yellow better. Yellow is my favorite color, so we're gonna use this. And this, I'm pretty sure we're just gonna put this in A tier, especially as a poison typing. I really think the combination of the two is really cool. I don't think I like it design wise as much as more of these guys go, so we'll put it next to Nidoqueen. I think that's pretty fair right there. Yeah, I think right there in A tier is pretty good. Alright, and to wrap up the Galar Pokemon, we have Eternatus, which is another Poison Dragon typing. And Eternatus here, I don't really know where I want to put him. I think A tier is probably fine. He is a very interesting looking, like, energy-esque. I don't know why he's poison typing in all honesty. They could have done something else with it, but we'll roll with it. I think I don't know. I don't know where to put Eternatus in all honesty. I think he should probably resign either maybe towards the top of B tier, but I think I do like him. The problem is in all the playthroughs of that game that I've done in Shield, I rarely end up putting him on an actual team, just because you get him at the end of the game, and at that point I really don't feel like using him. And even post game, like, I really typically don't use legendary Pokemon to begin with the exception of like a few of them, especially depending on when you get it in the game. If you get it towards like the middle of a game, a legendary Pokemon usually can find a spot on your team fairly easily, but like at the end of the game, when it's just like, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. Design wise, the problem is I don't like it design wise better than these three, and I'd still much rather use a Venusaur on a Victory Bell on a playthrough. So we're gonna put Eternatus between Venusaur, I think, and Victory Bell. I think that's fair. That's a fair analysis, I think. Design-wise, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of simple in design when you think about it, but I think they did a decent enough execution for the way they designed it. So I don't know. I think B tier is fine for him. I don't really have much more to say about it than that. So we'll move on. We have Sneasler, which is again a fighting poison type, but I don't think it is as cool of a design as Toxicroak here. I honestly much rather prefer the normal Weavile, Sneasel Weavile line. I'm pretty sure from what I've heard, this is actually a pretty fair Pokemon for competitive. Like, it's not the greatest, but it's actually not that bad. But again, that's not what we're basing this off of. It's definitely not an A tier design for me. I can see it being used though more than I think I'd much rather use a Seviper in all honesty, but I definitely could see myself using this over a Galarian Slowbro. Yeah, let's try to move this. There we go. B tier it goes. And we already did Overquill. Alright, now we're moving on to Gen 9. And I don't have... Again, I haven't played Gen 9. I don't really have much to say on how these are in a game. but we have to at least start off with Grafii here. Interesting looking design, to say the least. I know a lot of people, I think, actually like using him for whatever the reason is. He is poison normal. No, it's not going in D tier. I do like it. It is very interesting. It's kind of cute in its own colorful little way. He's going to go into C tier, I think, for me personally. But in all honesty, he's going to sit at the top of C tier for me. I do like his design. It's very colorful, but as far as like me wanting to use him on a team, I'd much rather use anything up here on B tier on a team over it. So that's how I'm going to judge this. Moving on, we have something that is absolutely hilarious to me is Revavroom, right? Revavroom. Steel Poison. I get the idea. It's actually quite hilarious. I probably would use it on a team just for the typing alone because I feel like, you know, it's good against fairy typing. Like, it's very strong against fairy typing. I'm just trying to think of where I would... Honestly, I'd probably use a Revavroom before I'd use a Seviper and anything lower than this. So we'll put him right here. I think that's fine. This we've done in the rock tier, the Glimmora. Yeah, that's about right. Not even gonna talk about it. Next we have Clodsire. Now I love the Wooper line and having it gain a new form, a new variant, and dropping the water typing for the ground typing is cool. I like this a lot. I wish I could use one. I wish it came out in the Galar region. That would have been great, but it's not A tier, but I do like it. But design-wise, it's definitely not as good looking as it design-wise. I would just use it because I like it. You know what? I am going to have to say sorry, but we're going to make some room here. We're going to move all these guys down. And we're going to unfortunately drop Galarian Weezing to the top of C tier. We're going to move these bugs over. We're going to get this Slowbro moved over. I think I would probably use this even before using a Scolipede. So we'll put this here. Middle of B tier. I think that's fine. Yeah. I'm trying to get the Seviper now. Let's make it a little bit bigger so we can see him in the back there. All right, yeah, that's about right. All right, Iron Moth. S tier design. We've put every other Volcarona adaptation in S tier in the past, and we're going to continue to do so here. This actually might be my favorite of them all. I like the digital look to it. Why it's poison typing is honestly beyond me for this, but it is what it is. We're going to put it in S tier. I do like it. Not much more to say about it. The rest of these, oh my goodness. Okie dokie, another poison fighter. Okie dokie. These are just really silly for me. They're probably all almost going to go into D tier. We have done the Fezandipity before in the fairy type tier list. And I do like that, but we'll get there. This thing... Honestly, I'd rather use a Glimmora than that. I think. Yeah, Pheasantipity, the last time we did this, we put it in B tier. And I think that that's where we're going to put it again this time. I'm just trying to figure out where the heck. I still rather use the Salazzle, but I think I'd rather use the Pheasantipity. Maybe not so much. I do like my remake of the boy, but yeah, we'll put Pheasantipity right above Scolipede for this, right under the Clodsire. I think that's fine. And last but not least, we have this Pencharunt. I think we've done Pencharunt we haven't done before, because it is also ghost typing, and we will get there. This thing looks very odd to me, but at least it looks better than the rest of these, in all honesty. So we will put this at the top of D tier. I think I'd much rather use an Alolan Muck over it. I mean, it is ghost typing though, but that's the problem, is it runs in the same thing as Gengar. It's weak to Psychic. So no, we're going to put it at the top of D tier, and that is going to lead us to the final mix here of S tier. We might be able to actually bump some of these things up, in all honesty. I don't know. This list is everywhere right now. Holy moly. I thought we might have gotten at least one more thing up into S tier. Should I just bump Drapion up to S tier? I don't think I like Drapion that much. And I'm almost rethinking the Niddos at this point. We're gonna rearrange this, guys. I'm really thinking about it now, and I'd much rather use We're gonna bump some things up, I guess, guys. Really make some room for this list. I do really like the Niddo line. King and Queen. Yeah, they're both going to actually get bumped up to S tier. I do, now that I'm really thinking about it, I'd still much rather use these on a team far more than any of these three. Design-wise, they are simple but powerful looking. They're really cool. All right, let's rearrange S tier, guys. Crobat, in all honesty, is going to sit at the top of S tier, I think, guys. Just thinking. It's more about these at this point. Yeah, I think that's it. That's going to be the finalization of S tier. I am actually very surprised that I bumped the Niddos up to S tier. I thought I might have liked some other things more than them, but I really do love me the Niddo line a lot. So there you go, guys. That is going to wrap it up for the Poison type tier list. My boy Crobat is going to reign supreme at the top. Generation 2 is my favorite generation, and before Crobat was a thing, the Zubat line wasn't all that much important to me, but I really do love me Crobat. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for another one coming up. Actually, we have 2 more planned for this month, the Dark type, and of course we will eventually get to the Ghost type for this month. So Stay tuned for that. I hope you guys are as excited as I am to cover those 2 typings respectfully. But anyway, guys, I've taken up enough of your time for today, so until next time, stay safe out there, take care. I'm ProtoPawn. Peace.